This is a vintage Roco model made in Austria of a locomotive, which I think is going to be a really cute thing to take a look at. It is, as you can see on the box there, a BR333, and there's a little illustration there giving the game away that this is one of the Köf III diesel shunters. This one is number 04163A in the Roco catalogue. I couldn't find any reference to B or C, and this one is an Era 4 DB maroon colour. Production of this model started, I think, in around about 1980. So this model we have today is, let's say, first edition of this particular locomotive model. In real life, the Köf III locomotive entered service in around about 1959 with 8 prototype versions. These were chain drive and later became Class 332s, but the 333 was first introduced in 65 and it had the Cardan driveshaft transmission. It was a yard shunter capable of moving pretty large trains, but didn't really venture outside of the yards much. And in later life, in around about the 1980s, they did have some remote control fitted to some of them too, and those were renumbered as 335s. By this time in the 80s, the 332 were all getting withdrawn, but these 333s and the 335s continued on, sometimes with DBAG, but also with some private owners as well. So it has a long history. It's a very handy locomotive to have on a model railway. So let's get this out the box and we'll check out what we've got here. So we've got a couple of leaflets in with this model. This is a replacement parts list which shows you all the pieces that make up this model. And you can see the motor here. We've got a little bit of a gearbox. And it looks like we've got drive to both wheels. We've also got this leaflet which has a bit of history about the locomotive in German, English and I think that's French down the bottom. And it has some details here about how to add extra handrails and little bits and pieces onto the model here, and also how to take the model apart if we need to. And that information continues onto the back here. With this particular one, we've got some spare couplings added in here, and we have a little transfer sheet which looks like electrical flashes. This is starting to show its age a little bit. I'm not sure how good those transfers would actually be. Probably need replaced if you want to add these onto it. And here is the locomotive, and what a lovely looking thing it is, and it is actually really small. I'll show you a comparison with a typical kind of HO scale wagon in a moment, but let's take a closer look at what we've got here. So the fact that this is such a small little model definitely appeals straight away. At the front here we've got a really interesting grille. It looks quite well defined, you can see almost inside there, and we have these lamps, one at the top here and 2 at each side. They've got silver surrounds which look good. It's got a clear plastic piece on it as well, whereas these ones down here don't. They look as though they've just had a little bit of red paint put in there, but you can see if I turn it to the side, they don't have any illumination or any way of illuminating them. Maybe a reissue of this model in later years will be able to get some little LEDs in there, but this one's quite old now, so you're not going to get that. We've got the buffer beams sitting out here with 2 metal buffers which have been added in. The buffer beam itself is made of plastic, and this one has these extra pieces put in, and they actually just move left and right. They're just a push fit. You can also see that we have a NEM socket here, and that does articulate left and right. So looking down the side of this locomotive, it's finished off in the maroon of the DB, and it's got the white stripe going the length of it, which is very clear and crisp. It's got some panels in here, some kind of hatches, and I do like the handrails. They're all made of metal, these ones. I saw that these are extra pieces that could be put on. This one looks as though it's come out though, so I'll have to reset that back in, but I'll probably need a magnifying glass in order to be able to do that. The cab area looks really good as well. The white stripe continues, and we've got the DB logo and the number there, plus some more printing down there, all very clear. We've also got pretty clear glazing, but this one looks a little bit frosted on here. I'm not sure what's happened with the model. But if I move it this way, you can see that we have windscreen wipers as part of the plastic. And we've actually even got little black surrounds around the windows. And we've got silver surrounds on the side around the windows. So that looks really quite good. At the back of the locomotive, again, we've got black surrounds around the windows and windscreen wipers. Very characterful of this. And we've got these little, almost like teardrop windows as well, which are fully glazed. You can see that it is actually flush fit. And we have 3 lights at this end. Looking around this side of the locomotive, not so many handrails here, maybe they've fallen off. So I could definitely add in some extra wires to just get those handrails put on at this side. And again, we have the similar kind of problem with the window having a little bit of frost in there. I'm hoping that this is going to run okay and it doesn't have anything like super glue holding it together inside. The cab roof is integral into the main piece of plastic, but it has been painted silver on the top. No moulding mark, which is good. We've got a couple of extra pieces of plastic which have been added in. And here we have an exhaust as well with, maybe it could be benefiting from just a little bit of black paint inside there. So if you look at the chassis, this is all made of metal. We've got some details of the springs and axle boxes, some rivet detail as well. Looks pretty good. The wheels as well have got black inserts with chrome surrounds, and we've got some steps coming down here. And finally at this end we've got another set of buffers which are made of metal, which are pushed into this plastic piece here. This one has been fitted with a coupling, you can see that here, and it moves back and forward in the NEM pocket. Underneath this is a metal part as well. You can see made in Austria there with the Roco logo, and it looks quite easy to take this apart. And also you can see that this particular model has been well used because the wheels are a bit dirty as well. One other thing up the top here on top of the bonnet is some details moulded into the main piece of metal. We have this as an extra piece which is made of plastic, and we have this vent here picked out in black, and we have another piece added on there in black plastic. So it's a tiny but lovely looking model, and I'm hopeful just straight out the box it will run okay. So let's set up the test track and we'll give it a try. So here we are on the test track. It's just the usual setup of some Hornby set track, and I'm using my H&M controller on 12 volts DC. So let's give it some power and we'll see what happens. Okay, so not so great. I think it's probably a bit dirty, so I'm going to take this apart and we'll give it a clean and see what we can do. This very interesting piece here sticking out the front of the motor, which sits behind the grille on the body shell here and gives an effect of a fan going round, so that's really quite cool. I've not seen that before. But having a look at the mechanism here, we've got a really tiny motor and a gearbox back here. This is all running freely, so I think it's probably just having some problems picking up. So I'm going to clean up these wheels and then we'll give it another try. Here's what it looks like underneath the base plate. So we've got little copper sliders on the inside of both sides of the wheels, so the axles are insulated, and I've just cleaned up the wheels as well. So let me get this back together. We'll see if it runs any better. Well, after a clean up and a little bit of oil, it's now running really good. I mean, okay, it is only a 4-wheel model and it does pick up from all those 4 wheels and drives them all as well, but it can be a bit stuttery, especially if it was to go over some points. You'll notice as well, I don't have all the handrails back on it either, because I'm going to actually just fabricate some handrails for the other side at some point, and also think this deserves a driver figure inside there as well. There's plenty enough room to fit one in. In fact, there's enough room to fit in an entire interior into this model, or maybe even some LED lights for these ones down here, possibly this one up here. Although at this end there's no provision for being able to put an LED up there, and definitely not on these ones. Well, it's beyond my skills anyway. You might be able to do it. But, you know, you can see that there's quite a lot of potential on this model, so it does offer a lot of interesting options. And we saw that most of this is actually made of metal, so let's put this on the scales and we'll see how much it weighs. So this model comes in at 173 grams. And to demonstrate just how small this locomotive is, here it is beside an American hopper wagon. You can see that there's quite the difference. Also, while I took it apart there, I took the opportunity to change a coupling as well to one of these, which most of my other wagons have. So Roco's model of this tiny little Köf III diesel shunter, it's a really lovely, nice little model. It offers the modeler a couple of options to upgrade this around the lighting and maybe some interior and some figures in there, perhaps like a driver. And it's a very handy model because of its size to operate on smaller layouts, especially if you've got some shunting to be done. This would be very handy on your layout, that's for sure. It might struggle over some rough point work, and maybe if you don't lay your track that well or keep it clean, it might stutter here and there. But it does seem to be a pretty good motor, although it is a little bit small, but it does fit inside that bonnet and leaves the cab free, so that's a pretty good thing, I think. There's definitely much to love about this locomotive, and it's definitely one of my favourites so far. And I think it's a favourite of many other people because the prices on this is actually quite good on a second-hand market still. You could pay up to around about £70 for this. Myself, I bought this for £50 and I think that was a bit of a bargain, although it is missing some handrails. It looks as though there's some glue damage on it as well. So it's not perfect, but it's certainly going to give loads of enjoyment. and I'm going to do those modifications on a different video, so remember to like and subscribe and you'll see this again at some point in the future. So it's a thumbs up from me, but what do you think about this little locomotive? Let me know in the comments below, I'd love to know your thoughts. And I'll put this on the turntable so you can see all the way around. And that's it for this one. Thanks for checking out this Loco with me, and I'll see you on the next one.
So model train, model world, choo choo, model trains, tiny in tiny worlds, choo choo, model trains, tiny model worlds, choo choo, model trains, tiny in tiny worlds, choo choo.